Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We were pursuing the tail on the great horned owl, and I broke up the video that I had. There's a part one that I just published, and I'm going to put a second part to this to finalize the tail. So I'm also going to add a little bit more onto this last video I'm making, so that I went out of camera on showing how things happen down here. So if you will bear with me, you'll see a repeat a little bit of what I thought I was in focus when I was trying to show you what I was trying to do on the tail end here. Okay, so bear with me, and I will go over that again so that we'll be in focus. So sorry about that. And if I didn't mean to screw up, but it happens sometimes. I start drifting when I start making the video, and I don't realize it at the time until afterwards. So we will follow up and try to rectify that. So bear with me. Up here, I'll show you how to take care of that too. So now we also have to give an illusion that this top feather, which is this one, is showing through here and here. Remember, we had it coming up here and here. So I'm going to come in and just lower this with my ruby flame again. Okay, get this in here. And what I want to do is just come in between this feather and this feather, right in the center here, and sort of just groove this out just a little bit more. Make this a little lower than how you stepped all the rest of them down, just in here. And don't get rambunctious. It's got to be ever so slight, or you can blow through to the other side. You don't want to do that. So it's a gentle lowering of that area. Okay? Just like that. And this gets thinned out, but you don't want to get it so thin that you come right on through. Now, what we really want to do now is make the top feathers and the bottom feathers work together. Now, I noticed, and I can see it, how thick this is, and you could see that where it's thinner up here, and I need to lower these a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my, I'm going to get my, let's see if I have it. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to get my diamond bullet, okay, which is this one here. You could still use the ruby flame, but I'm going to use the bullet only because it's going to cut a little faster, and I want to go a little bit deeper on stepping it down, okay? I'm not there yet. So I'm still undercutting, only about from maybe 1/4 of an inch back from the end of this C all the way around. I'm just trying to step it down and give it a bigger step down. Not a whole lot, but it has too much thickness on the ends. So I'm going to do that right here. I'm only taking only so much out. Okay. Let's roll out here. Now that I did the bottom side, I'm going to flip it around to the top side. The top side, I'm going to come in here. Now we did this side here. I'm still staying on that side, but on this, I want to lower this down a little bit more. I'm going to lower about 1/4 of an inch from the end in and come around and take that down. Then I'm going to come in about 1/4 of an inch and spin that around. Then I'm going to come in 1/4 of an inch here and bring that down. 1/4 of an inch here, and I bring that down. And the excess material that was there is like gone. Now, if you stopped here and you had too much of a dig, you want to blend that back, okay? So I'm going to just come in here gently. And now you're getting really down. And you don't want to go too thin, okay? I got a good millimeter or so of thickness, and I still want you to maintain that. Now, I did, let's see. Yeah, I did this side. Now I'm going to do this side. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go back from here 1/4 of an inch and come all the way around. Then I'm going to do another 1/4 and come all the way around. And you keep on doing that for each feather going down. And if you need to get a sharp feather line, you may want to burn these as you go too, you know what I mean? Because if you start losing it, it's good to burn it again, but not real hard, because you don't want to come through to the other side neither. Just burning it enough. So we thinned it down on the bottom on the edge here. I still see material sticking out here. So I'm just going to trim that a little bit. Now, I'm going to come on this side and take this side down. So I'm coming back about 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm coming around on this one. Let me get that top and smooth that out. Do the next one down. Then the next one down. Next one down. And the next one down. Now, I'm starting to see where I lose the burn. So let me stop here. I'm going to come in with my burner again. This is what I was saying to you. If you're losing some of the line work and you really need to get the sharpness in, I'm going to come back and reburn right on top of what I had there. This came around, and this came this way. This came this way. Here's where I was losing it, right in here. That came around. And it's good to do this because it sharpens that edge. Okay. And then this last one dropped right in there. Now, let me go back and work that area after I hit it with the burner. I'm going to come in here. Come in here. It helps you to clean it out real fast. Now, we're pretty thin all the way through, on the sides, on the back, And we got a little bit of a high spot still here. Now, here's what I want to do. To give the illusion it's all one feather, I want to come in here, from here, we'll take this last one, I want it to match up into here so that this top feather here is going right across here. And I put a pencil line in. And then for the second one in, this comes across and joins the second feather right across there. Let's see if I did that right. Hang on. I jumped the gun. This goes to here. This one goes to here. This one. Let's see if I got this right. 1, 2, 3, right there. 4 comes up to, see if I get this right. Here's 5 here. 1 across the 5 over here. 4 comes over to here. And then I'm going to do it this way. You have it going from here. Yeah, this should have been a little higher because this wants to come in right here. So I'll show you how we do that. And then the next one, which is here, is joining up with this one. And then this one joins up with that one. And this one. And this one. So what I'm trying to do is get the top of this one to match the bottom of this one. And what I do is I come in with the burner. I'm going to go in and burn just about 1/8 of an inch on the end here, ever so lightly, okay? Then where it comes over, it's going to go right into here. So this burn is joining up with this feather right here. And I should have probably made this feather a little longer. Probably didn't have that totally lined up. And it looks like I didn't do the best job I did on one side here, but I'm going to show you how to rectify that. I'm burning that end, and when it comes across, it's going to join up with this, with the second feather. I got my finger in the road. You don't want to do that. Right into here. Okay. And then I have this one, which is the third one in. And that joins up with this one here. And then the fourth one, which joins right up to here. And the fifth one is joining right up to there. Now, let me just show you on the one side. I got them hooked up from one side to the other side. Now, here's what I do. And I'll use the same bit I used before, the diamond one. I'm going to thin this out a little bit on the ends, ever so lightly. And I'm bringing that down. Then I'm going to come this way, and here's where I made my mistake. This feather I had curving around here. I'll just blend that out a little bit. but this is what it should have done. It should have come up a little higher. That joins up with that one. That one joins up with that one. This joins up here. This joins up here and there. So what happens is these look like they're continuations that lay on top of each other. And we're trying to give that illusion that the whole thing is from one side to the other, okay? And you gotta go gentle with it because you don't have a lot of material there, but it's still thick. It has some thickness to it. But when you get to the ends, you're really thinning it out, okay? Now, I'm gonna stop this and go back to doing the other side now. So let me do that again. You saw the one side done. I came from here. This is this side. I'm going to, let me do it this way. I'm going to come across here. Here's the edge of that last feather. I'm bringing that over. And that joins up with this one. Then I go to the second feather, and where that comes across is right here. I pick up that edge, comes across, and goes right into this one. See? And I only take it in maybe 1/8 of an inch or more. And then I get the next one. I run that across and join up. Oop, I'm sorry. I may have drifted again. Let me show you over here. I took a shot from there, came across, turned it around, and picked it up here. Then I go to the fourth feather, take a shot across. It comes right in here. And I turn. And then I get the fifth feather, which comes across here and turns. Okay? So now we'll clean that up. I'll get my burner here. I mean my grinder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this one again. Just blend it out. Go lower this one, blend that out. Lower this one, blend that out. This one, and this one. Now I'm going to come on the bottom here. I hope I'm in view again. Cleaning this out. Cleaning this out. Now what you have, these look like they go from one side to the other side. And that's what we want to try to get, okay? Now that we have that all established and we have it thinned out, if it's still too thick on one side for you and it didn't get that thin, here's a way of getting it to look thin. We worked everything from the bottom feather to reduce it. We're going to start with the top feather. So I'm going to come over here, and what I'm going to do is come in here on this last feather, right here, and I'm going to reduce the material down, like so. And if need be, you can even do a little bit from the bottom going up, okay? So that reduces down right through here. Over here, I'm going to reduce just this last feather. Just come in real lightly, bring that in, and then come this way and reduce it down just a little bit. It's a light touch because I'm not reshaping anything. Okay. And I'll get the fuzz out of there too. There you go. Okay, I think we're in business. Now we have the feathers done on the top, feathers done on the bottom. Now, let me also indicate to you that these have a quill. The quill is running right down the middle here. And the quill is running right down the middle here. Okay. And there are quills in here, but they're going to be ever so small. They're like just little lines. Then I'm going to give the illusion that you have a quill going all the way back, but I'm not going to draw it all the way back. And then on this one, it comes out this way, this way, this way, and this way. On the top, you have just the one quill. You're not going to see any of the others here. We're saying that they're laying on top of each other so you don't see the quill. So the only one you really have to concern yourself with is the center one here. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to burn the quill in, okay? Now, what we did up here, when we put the quill in, we went this way, which is what we're still going to do. But when we burned these feathers in, I wanted a hotter tip on the outside to lower these feathers. I don't need to do that down here. So you'll notice this is darker on the outside and gets lighter as it goes into the quill. This is going to be the reverse. We're going to come into the center. I'm going to lay this in here. Get my center line going. And take your time. Get it right down the middle. Okay? Then what you want to do is you're going to go on a 45 on both sides. So I come in here, I'll strike a 45, and then I'll try to get these lines, one right after another, as close as I can get, okay? And that is the goal. Just try to get them as close as I can. Okay. I'll come in here. Now here's where it gets tricky. I'm going to have to lower my pen tip. If you have a real sharp one, you can angle in under there and texture that all the way back. Okay? Because you're going to be wanting to fight that tail feather, or I should say the primaries. Now, for the next ones, you're doing the same direction. You're going like this, just following what you started on the top feather, going all the way out. And then come in. And this takes a little practice or a steady hand. And if you didn't get it close enough, you can always rake through it again and put some more in over top of the ones you have, okay? So you want to get that as far in as you can to the body. And then, like if I had a space in between, I go back and hit it in between, you know? And so I'm not going to do all the burn. What you're doing this side is you're going this way, and I'll just give you a couple of examples, and then you could do this on your own. I don't think that's much magic to this. It's just repetition. See how I got a gap in there? You can just come back and stroke right through it. As long as you're going in the same direction, you're not going to cause anything to go over some of the work you've already done. So that's how that's done. You're doing that all the way down this way. And the same way here, you're just going to keep on texturing right on up and right on up. And it's all in the same 45-degree direction that you started with the feather in front. Okay, and then so on, right on down. Now, on this side, you're going to come in, you lay this on the line. Now, if this was a bigger bird in the quill, I would make 2 passes to have like a raised quill, but this is so small. It's just an effort not to do it. But if you have a bird like a duck or something, you can make 2 lines, one starting straight down and then one just offset and then join up about 3/4 of the way down. And then you can grind a little bit on either side to have a raised quill. I am not going to do it on this one because it's just overkill, I think. So I'm going to come in now and I'm going to go on a 45-degree angle to the quill like this. Okay. Now, to get to the outside one, what I'll do sometime is I'll get like a rest or something like that, where I can put this piece down and then I can put my hand on here too to steady me, and then I'll burn this way so that I have something to rest on. So you're not bouncing like this, trying to catch up to each other, and you'll be really staggered all over the place. So by having a rest where you can get the piece on and your hand on, you can guide that line better. And it's really helpful. It really is. I'm trying to give you a tip here that I had to learn the hard way sometime, because I thought I could hold everything in my hand steady, and you can't always, okay? So I'm going to go all the way up to the top here eventually. And if I miss a spot, I rake it right over in the same direction. And they're coming right up to the rump. And you're getting them in there like that, okay? Now, these are 45 into the outside. These are 45 into the inside, okay? So that you don't get lost on the rest of them, come in here and start doing the quills. There's little ones just sticking out. There, there, there. I'll get this one in. It's a long one, but just take your time and guide it through. Especially with the rest, it helps. Then you come into this one, this one, this one, this one, and the center one is only going to be about that far. Okay? Now, on all the rest of these, you can see I got some gapping going in here, so I'll just start stroking lightly through there. But you're going to come in all the way up and get all of this done, like so. And then on the next one, you're doing the same thing, 45 in, in that same direction. And what you're doing as you press through is you're lowering these a little bit too, because the burn will be a leveler, as you'll see. And then you'll have to go this way to get these little areas where the quill is. On one side, you're doing the other side here. And then the center one here is the same way. This is going to only get part way, and then this side goes this way. And that'll give you enough of an illusion of the feathers right there. Okay? So what I want you to do is to burn all of this and all of this on both sides in the same technique that I just showed you. And then what we'll do is we'll pick this up on the next video, and I'll show you how to start. We'll be starting on the head a little bit, in the breast area, but we'll have the tail all burned out, okay? And if there's anything else that I forgot, I will cover that on the next video as well. So hope you got something out of this, and it's starting to get interesting looking, I believe anyway. And if you're having difficulty, I didn't show you that neither. If you're getting really difficult and you don't have the tips to get in there to get all of what you need on that angle, you may want to reverse this and come in here and just go on a 45-degree angle to get this in really tight. Did I turn that on? Yes, I did. So hope I didn't go out of camera range here again, but I want you to burn that right on back on a 45-degree angle, and then you do the same thing on this side. You'll reverse yourself. That's the only time, because you may have a hard time trying to get in there, okay? So that is another little bugaboo as far as trying to get in there and cleaning that up. At least that center feather is really hard. The other ones you got lift underneath here, so that you should be able to get in and under there pretty easy. And then what we'll do is I'll show you how we burn on the underneath side too on the next video. So hope you got something out of this one. Like this. See how we do on the next video. Hope you got something out of it again. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It helps my channel. And if you know of anybody that may be interested in want to do an owl, I've done otters, I've done cardinals, wrens, chickadees, house finch, and so on. I'm going to be doing more as we go, but maybe there's a bird out there you'd like to get a start on. I have kits for all of it, where you get the eyes, the feet, the blank, and the pattern. And you can let me know through my email and contact me, and I'll gladly try to help you out. I have equipment and bits that anybody may need, and I hope you enjoyed the process that we went through here, and you've learned something, and I'll see you on the next video. And thanks again. Bye now. Okay, we're back. This is sort of a correction from when I went out of view for this video that I gave you. I was trying to give you an idea or show you how to rectify as far as the tail end of these feathers, okay? I came in about a quarter of an inch right along here, and that's on each feather where you have the C coming around here. I came back about 1/4 of an inch, and what I did, and I'll show you, I'm going to use, let me put this down and plug this one in for the moment. I'm using a diamond bullet, and I'm just making sure that I'm in focus here. And what I did was I came in and I undercut it along here about 1/4 of an inch from the top of the C back. And you got to really be careful that you don't flow through. You want to be able to maintain some thickness. And at the same time, you want to get thinner, but still have some body there. Like if you come back in on this tail, it's thicker back here, but that's fine. It's just the outside edge we're trying to make the illusion that these feathers are really thin and not seem so thick. We can fake it because from here to this side could be real thick right between where my fingers are. But just to give it the illusion of thin feathers, we thin the ends down like I showed you before. And in this case here, I thin it out here. Now, I also come to the top part and I thin this out. I'm going to do this over top of the burn I had here anyway. I wanted you to come back right in this area and thin this out too. And then thin this one out too. So I'm going over my burn, not that I wanted you to do this. I'm doing this because it was done already. And I'm thinning this out so that some of the thickness we had in here gets thinned down and we have a nice small edge here. And you don't want to get too thin, you know. You got to use your judgment here. And I don't want you to get to the point where if you get so thin that you blow right through here, you know what I mean? You don't want to do that. Now, the other thing I was drifting around, and I'm just checking myself here to make sure we're still in play here. When these come around, these feathers, I want them to join up to this side. So this feather's coming down, coming around, and it slides right into this one. And it's the same way with the next one. The second feather here at the end comes up and around and joins up with the second feather, and so on, okay? And what you do is you put a pencil mark across there, and then what I want you to do, once you make sure you got everything lined up from top to the bottom, and same way top to the bottom on each one, I want you to put a pencil line through there and then come with the burning pen and go right and join them up, okay? You don't have to go really heavy or what. You can just go nice and easy. And what you're doing is you're giving the illusion that this is joining up with the top, and it makes it look like one complete feather, okay? And you're coming across, and you should join up with what looks like a layering effect or shingling effect, okay? And you do that on both sides. And I wanted you to make sure that, you know, you thin this out. But again, if you look at the ends here, and it's maybe hard to see all of this on the camera, but I'm thin, but not thin enough that if I go to burn, I don't want to burn through this neither. And it's not like you got a heavy burn. You're not. So I'm going to come in here. This is where I just showed you how to thin this out again for the second time, because the way I was doing it in the video there that you were just watching, went out of camera focus there, or it was me drifting is what it was. I'm going to come back and put this all back in again. So anytime you may have made a mistake too, you can do something just like this. You can take some of the burn out and then come back in and burn again. You know, it's not like you can't resurrect something, but you don't want to get too thin, and you don't want to get too heavy with the burn. Okay. Now I did leave this side undone so that you can watch me again. I'm going to show you how to burn the back end of this, and it goes like this. I'm going to come in on a 45-degree angle from the inside out, okay, not the outside in like I did with a lot of the feathers on the top. Now you can see where I got a gapping. I try to come through the gap and stroke again. You can't get every one as close as you like, but you can always go back over something. See, if I got a distance away, I just keep on marching down until I fill most of the voids I have in there so that I can make everything look pretty uniform as far as and you can tell by the burn how dark it is. And I'll come down through here, and I do everything like basically on a 45-degree angle. You may get it off a little bit on the angle, but as long as you're going pretty much in the same direction, that's the thing. And I keep on coming right on down. Now, as I showed you before, it's difficult sometimes, like the way I was just holding it. So I usually get like a cradle or a piece of wood, and I put that down, and it's like a resting place. So I could put this down, and as long as I get my hand on here and get the bird resting here too, I can come in and keep a better control on the burn. And I wanted to let you know that. I'm trying to ease you in what's the best practice for burning sometime. And just holding it in your hand, unless you have a real steady hand, the rest may be helpful, you know, to rest it on something here, like what I'm doing now. And it could be a block of wood. This here is just a holder for the micro grinder handpiece, and I just utilize these sometime because they make a nice rest, and they're made out of rubber, and they're forgiving. So I'm coming all along here up to the quill on a 45-degree angle, right on up to the breast area. Now on this side, everything's going to come in on the same 45-degree angle we had up here, because you're only seeing this half of the feather coming down. So I'm going to come in and just continue on the same direction that I started with the feather right next to it. So, and I try to keep, see, having it on a rest like this, I don't always need to put my finger on it to keep it, because I'm steady. But if I were up here like this, I needed to get my finger on here to control the burn. When you're sort of on something that's steady, you can burn better this way. And in not all cases, you know, sometimes you like to hold it in your hand. And if you do, you always want to get your pinky or something in there to hold that steady. So even on this, I have a finger or two that's resting here, even though you may not see it. You just can't go like this, you know, it goes all over the place, and then you'll have a real hard time controlling what you want to do on the piece, especially when you're burning so precisely, you know. So just want to get you to the right. I'm just remembering I needed to come back and put some quills back in here, because they all have quills, okay, all the way on up. Now on these little ones, you gotta get your tip up just a little higher so you don't go burning everything. And you don't have to press so hard, you really don't. I usually keep mine on a 5 or 6 number on my machine, but that doesn't always mean the same thing. Your machine maybe have a hotter setting at that. That's something you're going to have to determine as you go. I could always say what I'm using, but that doesn't mean that it'll work for you. So just remember that, depending on the unit you're using. And like I said, I have my favorites here. I like the Optima pens, and I use them a lot, and I have them available if anybody needs any. And the units are very good, and I've seemed to fall back on those. And but my attitude is, whatever you have, make it work, you know. And then if you want to upgrade or something like that and get a better unit, you know, you could touch base with me. I can make some recommendations, and you can go by my recommendations, or maybe you have a friend that is real good at this as well, and he may have another favorite. So I don't have the end all of what is the best. You know, it's what I've experienced, and I try to give you my information on what I've experienced over a period of time. Now I'm doing the right side of this feather grouping now. Okay. Now we do have something in the middle here, and I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take this angle, just come in and do a little texturing on a 45-degree angle to that area. Okay, so I hope I'm in the right vicinity to do this again without drifting out of the camera range. And that was basically the thing you don't want to do, is get so thin that you're going to blow through it when you go to burn or when you go to grind. So you got to use a little bit of feel, even if you leave it a little thicker, you know, in the beginning, and then as you go and you get better at it, you may want to thin it down a little bit more. I try to get everything as best I could get it, you know, and how it should be done. But you know, like I said, I try to make things, or I should say, it looks easy because I've done it so often and I have the feel for it. But when you're doing this maybe for the first time, you may want to leave a little more material, and it could be a little thicker. I've seen students of mine get it so thin that they blew through the feather. You know, that's not these, but when I'm doing like a songbird, the tail's out, it's very thin, and you could go right through it real fast if you get it thin enough. And in this case, you got some more thickness. You could see that this gets wider as it goes in, and that's good too. But it still looks like it's thin because you've got thin on the edge, and edge. That it looks very realistic, and they don't really notice how thick it is right off, okay? So we've got the tail finalized now, and what we're going to do next on the next video, we're going to start on the head, and we're working our way down, and we'll start getting this done. And hey, then we'll get eyes into it and everything else, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So I hope you got something out of this one as well. If you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that too. And if you have a friend or somebody that's interested, I'm putting these classes out. I used to teach these classes over the years, and what I'm doing now is doing it through YouTube so that you can get these lessons. They're free. I used to charge these before, so I hope you enjoy this, and I love the detail. So I'm going to go crazy with most of this most of the time, and I hope I'm not losing you on this. But this is what I've done, and I've done competitive birds and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that everything is real great here, but it would definitely keep you in the contest if you got into one. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you the best that I know for this period of time. So, and if you need anything like the owl, I have all different kind of patterns for birds and animals and so on. Not everything, but a lot. I do have catalogs available. And if anybody wants to get a hold of me, you can contact me through my email address, which is Rauscher, Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 @gmail.com. And I'll gladly try to answer any of the questions you may have, or if you want to get a catalog from me and purchase some kits. The kits come with the blank like this, the pattern, the eyes, the feet, whatever you may need to put the whole piece together. And then you're going to need paints down the road. And I'll also teach you exactly how to paint it and how to mix the paints and so on. So I hope, again, that you enjoyed what you've seen, and we will pursue the rest of it on the top of the head on the next video, and we'll see you on the next video. And thanks for staying with me. Talk to you later now.